Alright, so this is BrutakaBlaziken, or Brutaka as you can call me if you so wish. And since so many people are asking on how I do it, I am going to show you guys how to make a tech banner. So, first you open Photoshop or GIMP or whatever you use to make these type of things. You're going to need one of them. You can't just make it in Paint or anything like that. So, first you go to New File, and we're going to want a width of 490, height of 190. You don't have to. That's what I do. It's a good size. I like it. So you get that. Just fill it with black. Make sure it's black. Yeah. Make a new file or new layer. Okay, you're gonna want white. That's for later. But for now, you're gonna want this gray. And the way you can remember what shade of gray to use is the hex code for it is ACACAC, which is pretty easy to remember. Or you can just remember that the blue is 67 and the rest are 0. Or 172, 172, 172. Whichever way you want to remember, but I like using the ACACAC. So, alright. So, you get a brush. And so first I like getting a tech ring, which a lot of these brushes can be found on DeviantArt. See, I mean, you got a bunch of brushes here. You just, search them. Tech rings, whatever. See, you got them here, there. You don't have to use the same ones I do. But these two look like to be good ones. Okay, that's a little too big. So you want to set it to 150 pixels. May look a little small, but don't worry about that. So you kind of want it in the center here, more in the corner, really. And then you just plop one run down there. Okay, and then you go over here, change the opacity, right here, see? And then change it to 25%. Then you grab a different tech ring. You probably don't want to use the same one. New layer, 100 pixels, still with the gray. Kind of put it so it's kind of off it, but most of it's still on it, and then kind of in the middle. Plop it there, again with 25 opacity. Most of this is going to be done with 25 opacity and with the shade of gray. Next, you get this other one. It's like text set. It's got like these text looking type things on it. I mean, I called it text sets, not what you're going to have to find the search for. I just searched technology brushes. If you find something like it, though, it should work. So I plop one down up here, and you can put it in the same layer, other layer. I like making new layers, but it doesn't always matter, and sometimes I skip out all that. Sorry. Just don't put too much on one layer in case you mess up on something. Okay, then you look for technology brushes, and these kind of look kind of like circuits kind of thing, the information buses that are like on motherboards and stuff. And I like this long one. I use this one a lot, and I put it between the this thing here and that thing here, and put it there. And like normal, change it to 25% opacity. Okay, now we're gonna do the text, which is gonna be in the free downloadable font. You go like to font. It's called Sony Sketch EF. In 30 to 36 opacity, depending on how big or short the particular words that you want to write are. You can anti-alias it or not. It doesn't matter. So we're gonna call this one. No. Okay, you're gonna want this in the gray, the ACACAC. write. I'm gonna put Kirby for this one because so it's gonna be about Kirby. Okay, and we're gonna put it roughly in the middle. Okay, and then we're gonna go find that visitor font, which you should. Whoops. Which you should have. Yeah, don't do that like me. I make mistakes all the time, but I fix it. So, anyway, the visitor font you should have, because if you're making user bars, that's all you're going to use. And in the same style, you're going to not anti-alias it, but rather than bold it, you're not going to bold it, and we're going to have a 12-point font. So, and we can write, I don't know, what should we write? And you're probably going to want this all in caps anyway, so just pick something. I'm just going to write that for, doesn't have any meaning, but, you know, it's going to be good for what we're going to do right now. If this original one, the one that's in Sony EF, if it has any Y's or G's or thing that fall below the first line, you can actually use that to work off of, and it looks pretty cool if you do. So like if you go like that, you know, put it, so that starts over here. Usually if it's in the middle, you can put it on the right side, but in this case it's at the end, so you put it on the left. You want to simplify both of the text layers, rasterize it, whatever the option says, and then merge the two text pieces together. Okay, kind of center it just above the center circle here, and then we're going to select. We're gonna like select all, but then we're gonna just make it so that so that it selects only the pixels, the text. We're not gonna want any more than that. Okay, so get some black, some brushes, get something that looks like scratches or something, and then just load it. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna want to make a new layer first for that one. Sorry. Gonna just load it with a bunch of black scratches, a whole bunch, and then we're also gonna want this other one that looks like it's worn out. You know, it's quite big, but you only want to do one of those. Set the layer to about 50% opacity, and there you got that worn out look on the text. So that's how you do that part of it. Next, we're gonna have to work on the image. So you're gonna want your magic eraser or your background eraser or whatever it's gonna be called, so you can get rid of this white. If you find a PNG image that has a transparency in it, you probably want to just download the file so that it keeps the transparency. But if it's not a transparency, or if it doesn't have a transparent background already, you'll have to do this. I'm going to show this because there's a trick I do, and it makes it look a little cleaner than just, and so it doesn't have that white pixely border on everything that I know a lot of people don't like. And we're going to set this to contiguous. You can try 50 tolerance. If it erases something that you don't want, you turn the tolerance down. Or if it's got too much of a border still left on it, you raise the tolerance. So like I said, continuous. That way it doesn't get rid of the eyes, the white in the eyes. So we're going to erase that. And actually, before we erase that, I'm keep jumping ahead of myself here. We're going to want to put a layer beneath the image and make it black so that we can see the difference after we get rid of the white. See, so we can see it. Okay. We're going to want 100% opacity on our brush. Okay, so get rid of that. There's some white left in there. I'm going to have to go closer in that later. There and there. Make sure you get all of it. Oops, not that. And then we're get closer to get rid of the smaller spots. Alright. So that looks alright then. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna select it. We're going to go to outline, stroke, something like that. And instead of clicking outside, which would make an outline around it, we're going to do center, which is going to replace the first pixel towards the inside of the shape. Okay, see how much better that looks now? Now, it's not going to be great, but in the end, it's not going to matter too much, especially with tech banners. So we're going to copy the image and paste it over here. Now, obviously you can see this is quite large. So we're going to want to make that smaller. Okay, so like what we did with the text over here, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get our brushes. Actually, we're gonna want to select the text like before, or the pixels, not the text, and we're gonna want to get our scratches, make a new layer, and then scratch it. Okay, and that's actually the worn out brush, which we're gonna need that too. And then scratch it. And then we're going to put that to 25% and that to 25%. So they're both at 25%. See why it doesn't really matter if the pixels weren't perfect or anything like that. You don't really notice it anymore. See, I mean, it's all gone. So we're gonna merge the effects on our image down to it, and then we're gonna copy our curvy here, and then we're gonna paste it over it in the same exact spot. And then we're gonna make it larger. Okay, kind of center around it, maybe more to one side than the other, make it look more effect. And then we're gonna set it to 20% opacity, so it gives that sort of almost like it's reflected on a glass type effect, which is kind of neat. Next, we're going to put the effect over the whole banner itself, the scratches. And so we're gonna want our scratches there, 25%. New layer. And then our worn out brush here to 25%. And, okay. And we're going to flatten the image, merge all the layers together. And we're going to change this to white. Select all, stroke, center, and that's our white border, which is completely optional. It's not necessary, but it is a part of it. And then you just save the image and then upload it to Image Shack or Photo Bucket, and then you can use the image code on your websites or your signatures and whatnot. You can play with sizes. You can make a bigger version, and you can use it as your desktop wallpaper. You can make a smaller version, use it for avatars, like on GPX Plus, or use it for your profile page for Cerebi, or Smoggin. You can use it for your avatar, whatever. And so that was how I do my tech banners. Guys, have any comments? I know this is kind of a pretty lame video, and I paused in between, and I have a cough, but you know, it's just for information. I just need to show you how I do it, and so because I get a lot of requests for this. So yeah, uh, so you're welcome. Have fun. Show me what you make.